1, binigay niyo ho ba yung pangalan ni Angelica Tumang at nag-imbestiga sila sa eskwelahan? Dahil kapag hindi po nag-cooperate yung eskwelahan, obstruction of justice po ang tawag doon.
Bali sir, ngayon pong lumabas pa lang yung video, ngayon na po namin inaasikaso ulit para po ma-reopen.
Ten seconds remaining. 5
VG
seconds
Gaming's
remaining.
turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn to pick. VG Gaming's turn to
Juggernaut.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn.
Warlock.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Vici Gaming's turn to ban.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick. TNC Predators turn. Medusa.
10 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Draft, man. Like, is the answer. Survive longer than 20 minutes that the draft power put us on a clock for.
Real life spiders don't look like that. Unfortunately.
I don't know.
I don't.
You haven't seen Australian spiders.
It would be pretty terrifying if you saw that spider in real life. Not size, but also looks with like the cosmetics and everything it has on it. Yeah, this is a really great last pick brood from TNC. I think if you're Vici Gaming, your solution is to put the Centaur mid. I don't think there's any other way you deal with this. You play the Medusa safe lane with the Warlock, and then you offlane Shadow Demon Leshrac. Perhaps you can do some tri-lane shenanigans and leave the Deuces solo and let her suffer a little bit. But I think the dual lane setup is the only thing you can really do. So what TNC should be looking at is, if the lanes are super predictable for them, which they kind of should be, put the ideal lanes. You keep your Brood mid, even if it's against Centaur, that's completely fine. But how can you punish one of the side lanes? Do you leave a hero solo and do some super strong tri-lane with the Grimstroke and Juggernaut? Or do you also do a 2-on-2 match where you can beat them in perhaps all 3 lanes if everything goes right?
That'd be very advantageous, and that would put at least like if they could win all 3 lanes, TNC would be very happy because they can potentially stick to that 20-minute timer. But I also like the combination. The SD as well as the Leshrac. It's a classic, it works really well. DY, if you can get early levels and you actually have a rock to drop, if you actually have Fatal Bonds, if you have some kind of control that's able to amplify the damage that Paparazzi as well as Ari may be missing in the early part of the game, then this is a better advantage too. And it feels like, while there's not a Magnus in this game, the rock drop is still able to cause a lot of problems. Same with the Stampede. How does TNC stay on top of them, or does it not matter? Do you just keep pushing anyway?
I mean, I'm pretty convinced that if this goes late, VG Gaming will win this game, because they have some good late game solutions for Brood. They just don't have the early mid game solutions for Brood. Has a tendency to either win games in 30-35 minutes, sometimes maybe 40, or lose most of the time when it goes very late because the hero falls off. Whereas a hero like Medusa scales very well into late game. So does Centaur, so does Leshrac, and their 2 supports. All of Vici's heroes are amazing in long games. So, yeah, you got to hit that timing for TNC, and a lot of it is going to come from Armel. So keep a close eye on his lane.
We have seen some Broodmothers have more success in the late game just because of the change to the webs.
Yes.
And that's one thing they can do when the late game comes up. He's going to throw him back a long, long way. Ori's already used the Mystic Snake as much as he can, but there's no regeneration. Gabby gets the first blood up on top lane, and DY, there's nothing he can do about it. He hasn't even leveled an ability yet. And every time, this will happen again. Tim's with another toss. The early aggression, they cannot allow this to happen. DY, now he'll level up the Shadow Word. He's putting it onto Tim's. He wants some level, some rebuttal, one more attack. It may be enough. Yeah, it will be. The Shadow Word will tick him down.
Tango.
And DY,
Tango.
oh, he's, yeah,
Tango.
actually, is it still?
Tango.
It's enough. Tango is good.
Tango. Close call though, but he got out. And yeah, this tri-lane is super strong. TNC has a true kill lane here with Grim, Tiny, Jugger. It's only going to get worse when both Grim and Tiny hit level 2, so that they have Inkswell and Avalanche, as Tim's will.
He'll deny himself to the mid tower.
Goes suicide to the mid tower.
Hey, but Shed Bounty, right?
Yep.
Everyone gets some money. And Cuckoo's getting pounded on the bottom lane. He's looking for some CS, but he's 10-2 to the 2-0, right, of himself 2-0. But Paparazzi's trying to do some damage directly into Cuckoo. No points up in Edict just yet. They're using Disruption, Lightning, Split Earth, anything they could do to harass him down. He's down to 3 tangos after burning through a couple more as well, south.
That's the price they'll pay, but if they can shut down Medusa really hard, it's great news for them. When it's going to come to pushing and ending the game, though, you might want Leshrac to have a slightly worse game than this, because it's such a strong team fighter with a lot of damage output with the right items. But as the panel talked about, there's some serious bursts on the Radiant side from Tiny and the Juggernaut Omnislash as well. You can probably deal with Leshrac pretty well.
And defensive ward from DY is down, so they can at least see where Tim's is moving. Probably would have liked to get it on the other side of the tree line, but Fatal Bonds Tim's and AU to the camp. Tim's with the Avalanche. Someone want to come close enough? Yep, it will in fact be the Grimstroke. And DY wants to help out. He just got some damage into the Grimstroke, and that's all. Ori is totally dead. The shields are nowhere near strong enough. And it's just a terrible game for the Deucer now. And I just saw Yang jump, I think, like 10 CS. One double edge on the spiders. Okay, he just went up another 5 CS.
He's going to rush Vanguard. Then he's pretty safe mid against the Broodmother. What generally happens in Brood matchups like these is that Brood will retreat to the jungle and just out-farm you. It will farm wave and jungle camps, and Yang will just sit there and get only the wave. But Centaur's biggest advantage in this lane, to an extent, apart from being able to be there, is that if Brood leaves, he's going to take the tower with Retaliate. So you put a little bit of extra pressure on that mid hero to stick around, and will limit Probably limit Armel's farm by a little bit.
It buys,
Trying to be annoying now.
it buys some good time, more than anything else. And that's what VG Gaming need. Still get Leshrac up there, top 3 net worths. Only one of them belongs to TNC. Brood's still a little bit further behind. We know that will start to scale once Brood.
Bottom lane.
Oh, they're actually going again.
Yeah.
Yep, Cuckoo trapped out. Fade. Well, he's getting a lot of poison stacks on him. That's 4. One more, not even needing it. He just pops him anyway. And up on top, Tim's going once again. TY. And this top lane, eventually it's going to have some diminishing returns. Tim's is going in very deep.
Nice
Puts the
toss.
Shadow Word on him. Tosses him back over towards Grimstroke.
Tim's, or DY was not expecting Tim's to be able to find the toss there. He was standing in the middle of the creep wave, but Tim's found the right angle to be closest to the Warlock and toss him away, and they get a nice kill there. Warlock will be respawning and be able to reconnect for the bounty runes, but I don't think VG Gaming have any intent on trying to do anything on the top runes. Rather, push out bottom lane with the Leshrac and try to get those runes, as Shaker has...
He's abandoned.
He's gone woods.
Yeah, he's gone bush.
That's... Somebody's got to go bottom. You don't give up a lane at 5 minutes like this. I don't think that cannot be worth it with the heroes that they have.
No, that's like full free farm for Paparazzi.
That's one thing. It's also all this golden experience you're losing by not having a hero in this lane. Like, sure, you get some stuff in the jungle, but that's not ideal.
Unless they're thinking about lane switching.
Under attack.
You've hit pretty heavily into the Dusa. Like, is there a need to actually bring some pressure down against the Leshrac?
I think that ship has kind of sailed for the laning stage, unless you bring 2 or 3 heroes down there. There's nobody who can go down here on his own and stop this Leshrac from doing what it's doing. The problem is if they don't do it, he's just going to push the towers. It's level 3 Edict. These towers fall really quickly. So this is absolutely a problem for TNC that Cuckoo has to evacuate that early, but that was the choice they made when they aggroed the Dusa.
Yep.
Dusa is in trouble again.
Yeah, really staying on top, but then again the Stampede. Inkswell won't connect. Battlebond's connecting 3 heroes together, and Paparazzi, he's joined the fight. Now he's just going to turn on the teams. They're all connected together, and no way to break free. Cuckoo trapped in the tree lines. If they can attack into Tim's as well as Gabby, Gabby's going to try and spin TBL. He actually gets the kill on the way out. Tim's is doing some damage into AU, but he's back home safely, regenerating up.
And these fights are only going to get worse now. If you try to dive, now that the Leshrac has Pulse Nova, when he shows up, he's like double his damage in these kind of fights. So you've got to be super careful with how deep you dive as TNC. You got the kill that you came for, but it cost you 2 cores.
Hey, someone's going to go back down bottom lane as well. SD is now alone down there.
Yeah.
He didn't have to come for the fight. They sent in Paparazzi because they realized they needed the damage output from him. And what happened to Leshrac? He is now skyrocketed up to #1 the net worth, 3 points. And he can build some very, very large items very early on in this game. Like you're 6-7 minutes into the game, Efficiency Shrine just for good luck. Yang has already finished up the Vanguard. Paparazzi, what do we got coming out in the Courier?
It's not for him.
It's not for him, you're right. He was looking at a Bracer as well as a Null.
He's quick buying Bracer. I think it's a really good choice. Maybe you get Bracer and then Yules, or maybe you get... I don't think you get 2 Braces and 1 Null. That seems a little bit overkill, but the Bracer would be fine. And yeah, we see it. Gabby has to go bottom now. Just, you know, somebody's got to be down here.
Yep.
And he does the long run from base to bottom because he died TPing out from top.
AU. Do they see him? Do they see him moving around the tree line? He drops down his Observer Ward, instantly dewarded.
Under attack.
That's actually munched on by Ori, so hey, Efficiency Tango. What happened to this mid-pressure that I thought Armel was going to do? Centaur with Retaliate is just wrecking this tier 1 tower. And Armel, the panel was saying, like, this is meant to be Armel's game, a great Broodmother game, but right now it's taking some time. The only great lane is up here on top where TNC is fighting once again. Stampede, the body block was good, but once again, Paparazzi TPs himself over. Cuckoo was the sacrificial lamb into the tree lines. They're holding the split earth just in case, but it's not even required. Cuckoo, oh, DY.
How did DY get that?
Wait, what? Okay, sure, he'll take it.
Did he die to fatal bond damage from the Grimstroke?
I think it was Shadow Word tick,
Oh,
right?
that was a Shadow Word? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so Yang has won the mid lane. He took Brood's tower and is 600 gold ahead of it.
Oh, now they're trying to do something about it, but oh, the 3-man stun! The hop stomp and the follow-up from Paparazzi, they'll take AU. He came out for the regen rune. Oh, this game is starting to escalate a little bit quicker. We were talking about TNC potentially winning all 3 lanes with great matchups, and now it feels like all 3 lanes, or at least two of them have gone the way of VG Gaming.
I think you only have a possibility of winning all 3 lanes if you play 2-1-2. If you play 3-1-1, you can't win the 1-on-2 lane. And that one was lost really hard. The Shaker against the Leshrac plus Shadow Demon lane. And the Brood against Centaur, I would have said beforehand that that is not a Brood favorite matchup in the beginning, but that Brood can win it by farming, and eventually Armel will do that. But he lost his tower minute 7:30. I don't think that's as early as this would usually go, but Yang is super experienced with playing the Centaur, and he's having a wonderful game. 113 CS minute 9. I guess some of them are Spiderlings, but that's also telling, right? If he kills this many spiders, maybe Armel isn't in his right element on this hero in this game.
Yeah, he was throwing him in like
I the groups, right?
Yeah, he did. Fade is just doing nothing but chasing down AU. He had more than enough poison stacks on him. AU was on a warding mission. He came in onto the cover of smoke, but he only came in as he dropped the Radiant Ops on top of his death position. So he was looking to plant that next to the tier 1 tower, but I can tell you right now, with VG's presence down here, there's no way TNC getting close to that dire bottom tier 1.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So with Leshrac arriving, 4 points up, an Edict to push the wave, take it back. Looks like Armel's getting some damage into that mid tower, bringing it down to half-life as Yang had abandoned his post for a moment. And the catch-up is happening, as you said. Hand of Minus is over on Armel. He's building into the Aghanim Scepter, rushing it up, realizing he needs to have a large amount of control across this map.
Yeah, he needs to farm a lot this game. But already, that is already a bit of a problem. If your Broodmother needs to, not that Brood needs to farm a lot, Brood always needs to farm a lot, but that it feels like he needs to catch up in a game where we talk about VG Gaming having the better late game and the overall early stage went well for them. This is very quickly becoming a problem. The win expectancy is 75% for VG Gaming, and we're only 10 minutes in. And it's just this early mid tower and this golden experience lead that they have from the laning stages is quickly becoming a problem for TNC to deal with.
And look at the confidence from Yang. He doesn't care about coming high ground with a double head. And that's some spill damage up on top. Paparazzi in Biz Rune looking to prep up. It's a toss back. They don't even know Leshrac. Actually, yeah, they do. He walked just in range of the sentry ward. That's why Tims threw out the toss straight away. But Stampede, now they're chasing after Tims. What's he got? He's got toss off cooldown. He'll throw Paparazzi away, but Purge is up. Split Earth will easily be able to connect. And the tiny wall fall. Paparazzi claiming his 4th kill of the 8 that VG have 11 minutes in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He's Gabby's getting something on the bottom lane. Farming up quickly, going in for the Maelstrom build over on the Juggernaut. And getting some damage into this tier 1 tower. Medusa will have to come and do something about it. She's just been wanting to farm up the stacks.
Yep. It feels like TNC actually need to start making moves, but your Brood is not really ready for it yet. Yang is just sitting on Brood really, really hard. And your Shaker got crushed in lane, so he doesn't have many play options. And Tiny's level 5. With Scrimstroke, he's also level 5. We're 12 minutes in, none of their supports are level 6. On the other side, Shadow Demon is almost level 8, and Warlock is almost level 8. They have a huge lead. Are there any tomes on this courier? There are no tomes. This is what will happen. So the weakness of going tri-lane like this is if you don't get a lot of kills and just stomp the lane, if you keep the lanes for too long, your supports are going to get underleveled because they're sharing experience 3 ways, right?
Yep.
And I felt like the moment Shaker evacuated from bottom and gave up on the lane, you need to put a support down there to leech this experience. You can't just leave this lane empty for 2 or 3 minutes, which results in exactly this. Your options are just super limited on the map right now for TNC.
You know, Fade, I think that's a little greedy, but I understand he wants to get the Ether Lens up. He just farmed half of the stacks that he did on the Ancients with just mass stacking up poison. But Ori can finish what's left.
I'm the carry now.
Yeah, it's just...
And now Brood is top net worth. So Armel is finally leading the board. But similar to Alchemist, Brood has a bad game if it is not the richest hero in the map. Your net worth is not as valuable as other heroes overall. In general, that's like a rule of thumb. It's not 100% always, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So this is not enough. If you recall some of the very iconic Matumba Man games, for example, from TI7 when Liquid won, a lot of the games Matu is 2k gold ahead of all enemy cores at this point, or maybe even 3. So with that logic in mind, Broodmother is currently behind par for the course, kind of.
He needs to catch up 2,000 gold.
He needs to find big items. And maybe if there's some sort of stray kill that can come his way that could help, maybe the Broodmother can find Shadow Demon, someone kill him with spiders, but VG are just not playing Brood's part of the map with anyone else than Centaur, and he can't kill that guy, so Look at how fat Yang is.
Yeah.
Crimson Guard 2k health, minute 13.
And he's working on finishing a full pipe for his team, so a lot of that magical damage is going to be negated
Radiant's top
on TNC. Meanwhile, Paparazzi, because of his crazy start's got a Eul Scepter, so he's got both defense as well as aggressive options when it comes to the fights. And he's got Warlock sitting behind him. Like normally you have a Warlock and their Warlock hits 6 and you're like, okay guys, let's go and fight. Let's find a great opportunity. And now on bottom lane, there's the movement. Tim's, Eul's stunned, can't walk away. He added some pressure, he tried to toss away Paparazzi, but that may have actually just hurt Gabby more if that actually succeeded. But it doesn't. It's just still a one-off kill. Blink Dagger flying out right now. In fact, it's...
Gabby's running at Yang, but
no, that's not
what are you going to do?
There's a Blink Dagger for Ramel.
Yeah.
So a lot of critical items starting to arrive for TNC. What can they do with it?
Yeah, this has to be a play timing, right? You smoke up with your Shaker, your Tiny, your Grimstroke, and maybe a Jugger or Brood, and you combine on the lane and get something done. Either get this mid tower with a lot of Spiderlings, or you try to push the top tower. But just sitting around farming right now, I think is definitely the wrong play, and something needs to happen. So let's see what they're going to do. They're just going to grab these 2 bounty runes for now.
God, those whip charges
Vici are getting a
ridiculous.
tower in the meantime. This lead, Toby, it's getting ridiculous. What do you think? 90% almost. 15 minutes in.
You just watch the win probability.
I mean, you look at that graph and you just feel like, okay, I mean, I know it went a bit better for Vici in the last 3 minutes, but I didn't expect it to swing this much, you know? It's like...
And you still have a Broodmother at number 1, Juggernauts at number 3, and when it comes to net worth,
yeah,
like, items are not stopping. But it just tells you the tail when it comes to gold, when it comes to kills. It's not always the easy answer to say, well, we're ahead a little bit. We're only like 60% favored.
Expectancy of games is... like, the golden XP graph can only take you so far because it's a lot about knowledge of matchups and how things are supposed to go. DY
actually reveals that Earthshaker blinks over, but he didn't see DY. Now DY will drop the rock as well as get the better bonds off. Have they got another control? No, they don't. In fact, it's Fade in trouble. Stampede to disengage. My God, all those spiders just evaporated. Paparazzi and Centaur can go to work. You'll scepter up, and you will hit the deck in the hardest way possible.
Yeah, TNC just didn't find the play. It's so hard for them to find an opening right now.
That timing was really unfortunate too. Like,
yeah, they ran.
You had to have a guess of where the blink was, and DY was only just putting that observer ward down.
Yeah.
So the trade-off, looking for the mid tower. Paparazzi will arrive. Once again, a lot of Spiderlings died for this movie. We're at 228 CS on Centaur and 172 on the Dusa. A lot of this is spiders.
I don't think the Dusa killed any spiders.
She hasn't? I guess she's just been neutraling.
Maybe a bit, but not much. If she killed, I don't, like 5 maybe? I don't think I've seen her kill very many spiders at least.
What's the spider gold counter or something? That's what we need.
They give minimal amounts of gold. It doesn't really matter much. They're worth like 3 gold each or whatever. It's something, but...
And Cuckoo really wants to drop this Echo Slam somewhere, but he's not finding an opportunity at all. And he doesn't want to do it on Yang. Hood is already done, Crimson Guard is up. I think the pipe is just, yeah, he's just waiting for 50 gold, and the pipe will fly out.
So we talked pre-game about timing and what TNC's lineup needs to accomplish in order to get control of this game and run away with it. And now that the timing has been missed, that is why we're seeing this 90% win expectancy. So what's the last 10%? Outside of Vici screwing up, the options that TNC are kind of limited to are trying to force fights around where Brood is playing, and then probably blowing up the Leshrac is my best bet. You're not killing Centaur, and if you are, it's going to cost you the fight.
Well, on the bright side, Leshrac went for movement speed build, so that's your upside.
He does have a save, however, and a golem behind him once that's available, so even that kill is hard, but it's what you've got to try as TNC is to find a way to access fights. If you're playing chicken with Brood the whole game, hey, Brood's chances are just not good here, so you've got to start taking some risks. Got to go for some plays that are maybe very unlikely to succeed, but what if they do?
Yang wants to play. Gabby doesn't want it. Here, have a BG tag. That won't save you, Gabby. Actually, you will. It just like be a way to save you.
Huh?
You're fine. Spin saves him, not the tag. But nice to see he's coming into this series armed with all the memes they can have. Paparazzi's hoping for an opportunity in mid. Invis ruined up.
And Paparazzi's changing his build. He was hovering the Kaya, which is the classic component from the Sumail move speed build. I'm gonna call this Sumail build because he was the first guy I saw do it. I don't know if he actually invented it, but I think he might have.
We'll give him credit.
Where you go the Boots of Travel Yules, and then, or Yules, then Boots of Travel, then Kaya Yasha. So you have permanent 550 move speed with the 15 talent move speed. And then you can level up your Pulse Nova early because you have the mana cost reduction from the Kaya.
Yang is hunting. Bottom lane, Stampede, straight through. Tim's, well, he knows he's dead. Paparazzi didn't even arrive in time for the rest of TNC. Hey, what happens? You lose a hero. Let's go fight, boys. 4 heroes together, smoked up, looking towards the mid-tier 1 tower. Fade is the man who's on the defense duty.
I'll finally get this tower.
Even if they have to go, yeah, just send the spiders, they'll do the job.
Yep.
But maybe they can get something else. Dusa, as well as SD is here. TNC fight best when they're only 4. They already get the slow out, the silence, no, Bandits are the rock, and the Venom Bomb, 3 heroes connected together. They're gonna burn so hard. Yang just walking up. You've already taken out the Grimstrom. Gabby, no longer spell immune. Cannot stand next to Paparazzi. They want Cuckoo. He'll blink away to safety. But VG Gaming, 2 heroes down. They can push towers. They can take Roshan. They can do both. They can take runes. They can only do 2 out of those 3.
Are you sure about that?
Well, there's only so much time they've got.
Yeah.
It's not infinite. And Tim's is going for the bottom bounty runes.
Yeah, at the very least for TNC, they do look to get a 2-2 trade. Never mind, they get 3 for 1. Shadow Demon shows up with a haste.
They didn't even take the tower, so I guess not.
And imagine, we're sitting here watching both teams' perspective, right? We're watching what both teams are doing, what items they have, how they're moving, where the wards are. And I'm struggling to see potentially good plays for TNC right now. So from their perspective in this game, I really wonder what the communication is right now. Like, what's the next play? What's the goal of the game? How are we going to get out of this sticky situation here to make the comeback?
Does the itemization of Armel kind of tell you a little bit about that? Like, he builds pipe, he's building for the team to stand together. You're still getting like full-on damage from Gabby. Like, he's going in for Mjolnir style build.
Maybe the timing is level 20 on Armel, so he gets the spider attack damage talent, and then he's going to have the Solar Crest and the pipe to keep the spiders alive.
Yang missing that up a little bit. Tim's trying to do something with this as here comes the blinking from Cuckoo. Great Fidget block, but it's the biggest hero. You got to try and break down. Once again, Battleborn's doing his work with the Echo Slam. They're getting through what we thought could have been the unkillable. We asked them to do something, and that's exactly what happens. Armel wants to go for more. DY begins to TP. Someone got a stun. Cuckoo does. Blinks forward, and now 2 heroes from VG Gaming falls.
All right, that's good.
That'll work.
They got 2 kills, one of them being the huge Centaur.
Middle tower is under attack.
They had to work hard for that kill, though. If Yang wouldn't have chilled so long and just used Stampede, he would have probably got out of there. He got both kills, he got the tier 2 tower, and all of a sudden Armel is almost got the Solar Crest and the level 20. And
Ari is still getting bigger though while all this is going on. Like, all the fights have been happening, Ari has literally just been jungling or lane farming in very safe areas. He's almost going to crack the 300 CS and about to finish a full butterfly.
that we'll cross that bridge when we get to it for TNC. First problems first.
One step at a time.
Need to deal with the Medusa later.
Hey, you'll be able to control it. Cuckoo's building in for an Aghanim Scepter, and once you got this, maneuverability is going to be the name of the game. Broodmother moving up and down hills, Cuckoo staying with him.
As far as corruption, it feels like this play only works because there's not enough in the way of protecting him at the time. So if VG Gaming are a little bit more together, winning a team fight right now for TNC seems almost next to impossible. Like, they need a really good Echo Slam, they need a really good Tiny Combo, probably a good Omni Slash too. Like, they can't really make any mistakes, which, you know, we've seen flawless team fight execution from TNC. They can do it, but it's a really stacked deck against them right now in those fights.
Well, we passed, as you said, 20-minute mark. 23 is on the board. TNC.
It's a bit of a comeback though if you look at the graph.
It
Got a couple of percentages.
It definitely is. We're now sitting at 89% for VG Gaming win probability.
So just
There's
has
Paparazzi.
the solar, right? Brute has the solar.
On Courier? Yeah.
Yep. So there's a solar and the level 20. The reason I'm looking for this timing is Brood gets insanely strong when these two things align. When you get the solar crest and level 20 for the spider attack damage talent, you go from dealing a lot of damage to dealing a lot of damage.
Yang still wants the spiders.
That's not a good way to have an army.
382 CS now on the Centaur. Rack him and stack him.
This is the highest CS of Centaur ever at 24. By like 50.
He's going to go in for Roshan. TNC, they're going to try and
I love it.
in.
I love it. Take a risk.
But hey, Yang, he's taunting his way over to the pit. Don't look now. He hooks on it. He's able to get the double stuff. Run up Roshan. Paparazzi with the ball for Gabby. He's pushed up. He cannot move even with the spin. This is that piercing. The rock will drop. Connects everybody up. A quick Omni Slash. Try and break him free. Get him inside the pit. Gabby, he's actually on the other side of the rock wall. He gets away while Tibbs keeps it to the back line. You've actually wasted the Stone Gaze, and TNC, they get out without a single loss.
Yeah, there's no Stone Gaze, no Golem, no Stampede. That's pretty good.
Brute can slip back into Roshan. Now VG Gaming's attention turns into how do we stop TNC from claiming Roshan?
And I love TNC take this risk. You see, it's a high risk play, but the reward could be massive, right? If you don't take these risks in this kind of game, you're unlikely to come back. So
they're even trying to kill the Golem off.
Yep.
Hey, there's some money.
And Brute is back looking at the Roche pit. Has the spider damage talent. This Roche can die really quickly.
You see,
Armel might just get it, actually.
could observe what. Just looking in. What do you do, Ari? Do you want to push? He's got no save. There's no backup. There's a disruption. They're smoked up VG Gaming. They're still watching Roshan closely. The damage from the spiders as well as the Brood is so huge. The spiders actually almost going to go down. The poison's killing them off. This is when Armel loses his power, when he loses his spiders.
Yep.
So he has to make some more. Over towards mid. There's more where that came from. Hopstop jumping in. Yang wants to try and fight. Great Fusion in the back line, but Paparazzi BKB all protected. They're losing the Brood by the way too quickly. Armel needs to get up the hill and far away. There's no place like home. Lashrak and Yang both able to back up. There's a nice regeneration route. Deny it. Woo. Okay, well that'll still deny it. No, he bottled it.
He bottled it.
So Paparazzi can get back up to full mana.
It's like, hello.
Roshan, remember this man? 1700 HP. They want to break through him. Grimstroke's looking. Gabby walks in. Gabby walks out. We're playing Do-Si-Do in the fog of war. Paparazzi found the target in the back line. Cuckoo dead so quickly. He takes so much damage. Now Paparazzi can burn the regeneration room, get all that mana back. But Tiny wants something else. He's tossed back the illusion. He wanted the real one. Now Tibbs is out way too far. Yang will capitalize. Looks up his forward. Able to get the double edge damage. Paparazzi's there too. With the lightning, they got the slow stand beating up Tibbs. There's nowhere to hide. They still think about doing Roshan, but Ori, he is the gatekeeper. At the front of the pit. TNC can still not get in, and Yang is like, okay, maybe I should do some damage now. I'll help Paparazzi. Armel can't let this happen. Ori still on the front lines with the vision block. He's trapped up on the high ground. DY can't really help him. Roshan, he will die to VG Gaming. Hagen's in the hands right now. It's actually going to be Paparazzi. Gabby, he's trapped and brought down. Broodmother. Now he's trying to retreat. The more damage he takes, the faster Grimstroke will die too.
That was a super well-played Roshan control by VG Gaming. This whole situation, the way they spread their heroes, they have, like you said, the Medusa is kind of just protecting the Roshan area, while the Leshrac finds an opening onto the Shaker, and they get a great fight out of it in the end. And you know,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
hats off to TNC for trying to pull off this play. I think you have to do something like this, like I've said before. Get Stone Gaze off, and flat out a mistake from Gabby here to get petrified. This should not be happening. You're just running in, getting petrified. I'm not sure what the plan is here. There's no way in hell you're ever killing the Medusa without using Omnislash. She didn't have any mana. And then they just ran down and forced the Brood away as well.
Yeah, you realize it from TNC. There was a lot of laughing before game 2, but things have gotten really serious. They're missing their timing. The pick of Brood didn't work out the way they wanted it to. But you still come up with a plan. You still try and find a way to fight against VG Gaming. It seems so hard to keep these spiders alive too from Armel. All that big damage, he wants to get into the back lines to kill off units like the SD. But then you got Glimmer Cape protection. In fact, both of them are going Glimmer Cape. DY has almost completed his.
Yep.
So difficult for TNC just to get this straight up target lockdown. Goodbye Tier 2 tower. Oh, they're still in the hands of Paparazzi up on top. He's having his own little duel with Tims. Stampede just wants to close the distance, do some more damage. Tims has tossed, the creep wave's coming in. That's not what he wanted. Paparazzi, such fancy footwork. That's difficult with 4 legs. Tims, there's your hit with the splitter. Down he goes.
Made him work for it. I think Paparazzi messed up and could probably stunned out of the Yules. Not sure if he was saving it for anything else or had cooldown, but when I clicked up there, I think it was ready. So they have to use a Stampede, and it takes another 10 or 15 seconds, so Tim's definitely buying some time there, but time for what? Time for what?
The second coming of
Yep.
TNC.
Well, maybe time to fight for bounties.
Maybe.
You gotta try it.
Got 15 seconds to get into position. Luckily, Brood has a rather large network that he could use to get north.
And a rather
VG
large net worth, unlike all of his teammates.
Well, that's because he's taking up most of the map. It's pretty choked out. VG Gaming aren't giving them many options. And now, oh, Juggernaut, Yang. Well, blink, hop, stomp, quick on the Blade Fury. And Gabby, he needs some distance, and he needs it now. The rock will drop. Here comes Ori too. Needs some extra slow. Broodmother's going to be nearby. They're doing so much damage. There's no way the Juggernaut can live. Even with the avalanche, they can't create enough space. Dead without buyback in Armel. Woo! That team didn't work. And Armel, no protection. They're trying to slow him down. Great Fisher. Cuckoo able to create a little bit of extra space, but VG don't care. They just want to rampage forward. They want that semi-final matchup against LGD. And at this rate, they'll take it. TNC, they need a miracle.
Or 5.
Radiant structures are fortified.
One after the other, no spaces between.
Yeah, this is looking really, really tough for them. Just a flat-out 5-on-5 seems completely unfavored. They don't have the damage to kill the Medusa. Leshrac has an Aegis. Is running around with haste move speed pretty much. He took the strength talent, so actually doesn't have full haste move speed, but 510. And another huge grab for VG Gaming.
And together they move out. They can take out the Shrine. They'll push through the top tier 2 tower as well. It's time for the new Vision game from VG Gaming. Actually, they've got 4 TP scrolls coming on the courier. All right.
Yang wants to be able to TP.
Yeah, they're all his. Could have brought some observer wards for him if they're off cooldown, but nope, we'll do it this way instead.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Tier 2 tower is gone. And they will not hold back. With the Aegis the Immortal on Paparazzi, he's got nothing to fear. The Fissure doesn't block him out. Ori has enough space to move up high ground. No missed chances for him. And Paparazzi now triggers off the Edict. No fortification available from TNC. So the tower cannot survive. They are losing map control so fast. And all Armel can do is just move within his network, farm outside, but farm to what end?
He's got a Hex, so he can kill Shadow Demon.
He can
find some.
At least they have something then that can work with the Soulbind.
True. That's another good point about this game. When it comes to teamfight and how TNC have built their lineup, they really haven't set up Brimstroke for success except the Juggernaut spin with Inkswell on. That's the only thing that synergizes with his ulti is his own silence and toss. Outside of the Hex that Brood got 30 minutes in. So Brimstroke's primary teamfight contribution is generally 1 stun from the Inkswell and then the Soulbind and setting his teammates up for success and maybe a good stroke of fate. But you take that ulti out of the equation, it used to even slow, it doesn't slow anymore.
Yeah. Like you just see like how happy VG are to keep doing what they're doing. Like you've already got your defensive items for Ori and he's going in for the MKB next. Like no need to worry about the big burst damage. 2.1k HP seems to be enough for him. Same with Leshrac, 2k, but he's got the BKB to defend.
He's super fine. He has 2.1k. Oh,
ooh, Armel, the blink. They catch out the Broodmother, and all the stars, they continue to chain. Brood is dead. 85 seconds. Brimstroke cannot TP out. Faintly under control with the disruption. The buyback came out from the Grimstroke. But without the Broodmother, you don't even have the double hex we were talking about. Tims, he goes for it. He doesn't get the toss back, however. He just tosses Ori straight up in the air. A quick fish up. Now the Soulbind together. Gabby is already spinning himself away. Paparazzi is killing Tims at the back line. They'll go Fountain if they want to. This game's over. It really is over. VG, playing your flag. You own TNC's home. Tims is going to do the best he can. TNC will fight to the bitter end. But VG Gaming now going for the Megas. Edict burns through all the buildings. Gabby moves forward, looking for some damage to burn off what mana? No, he's going to burn off life instead. Perched up. Now the rock will drop. He just wants to control the Juggernaut. He'll still get the Omni Slash off, however. But how much damage is this really doing? They're so tanky and lit across the fight. That's GG. 4 heroes gone. VG Gaming will advance to the semi-finals to have a date with all LGD VG China. Semi-final. It still looked a little shaky, Cinderin. VG Gaming weren't absolutely perfect, but they still take the victory.
Yeah, this last game though was